All right. Good afternoon. So when H2O asked me to talk about Caffe, I decided I would not do yet another tutorial about what is deep learning and how to use Caffe and stuff like that. You probably have seen many demos already. So instead, I'm going to focus on the roadmap for Caffe at the systems level, and particularly an aspect that I'm working on right now, which is to make it easier to leverage modern hardware, and particularly the very fast networks that are emerging. So if you purchase a GPU cluster today, you probably will have a very fast network, like 100 gigabit Ethernet or InfiniBand, or Intel is coming up with something like called OmniPath. And those networks are extremely fast, so fast that they cannot be really used, leveraged in software, like the TCP cannot fill the pipes. And that aspect of doing networking for distributed machine learning includes like scaling Caffe over multiple nodes, connecting Caffe and H2O, or creating pipelines for very high performance machine learning. So a bit of context, so I worked on those projects in the past, and now at UC Berkeley I'm focusing on so working on maybe half-time on Caffe and half-time on this project of integration of Caffe and other elements. So in particular on Caffe, it already supports like multi-GPU training, for example, but it cannot be used in Python. So if you're a user of Caffe, you might not have been really extracting all the value you can get of a library like that. So that's something we plan to finish in the next few weeks or soon. And then some context about the industry, like machine learning in distributed machine learning in general. Like as you know, the compute is moving away from CPU to this new generation of accelerated hardware, so GPUs, Xeon Phi. The FPGAs used to be a niche thing, and they are coming more and more, being more and more mainstream. And there is like the persistent memory is going to completely change the way we store data on machines, and the fast networks. And the issue is that evolution is that, so that's an example where you skip the CPU, and the GPU can directly talk to InfiniBand. So if you have a GPU cluster, again, if you use that kind of new technology, because the hardware can talk directly with each other without going through the CPU and TCP, you get much lower latency, much better performance. But the issue with that trend is that every constructor is doing their own hardware-accelerated library. So for GPU, you will have something called GPU Direct, where GPU can talk to each other. And then if you have this new generation of storage, where the storage can directly send data to the GPU, you will have another library that you have to implement. And that's why most of the libraries today, even state-of-the-art like H2O, they don't use hardware-accelerated network or GPUs. You cannot directly use that, and that's something we are trying to fix. Particularly with the integration of something like Caffe inside H2O, then you would get the best of both worlds, like the convenience and scalability of H2O and the performance of hardware acceleration. And so at the lower level, the abstraction that we are going after needs to cover all those use cases. So all the libraries, the list of libraries that I showed, they have different semantic, like the libraries that are for GPUs use different naming, different semantic for doing things. Even though functionally they are pretty much all doing the same thing, which is moving data from one point to another. And so the idea there is to use a much simpler abstraction, which is based on the idea of the file system. It's not a full file system, but it will look like it. And in practice, what it gets you is that it becomes much easier in your machine learning pipelines to leverage the hardware without having to code for it. So for example, today, if you have a piece of data in storage, like in HDFS, and you want to use it to compute something with a GPU, you have to go to all the steps at the top. Like you have multiple changes between like kernel code inside Linux and userland, and you have you go from a server, and you have to transfer over TCP, and even the state-of-the-art systems like TensorFlow, they're still based on gRPC, which is TCP, and so they still have to go through all this complexity, even though in hardware, things could be a lot faster. Like in practice, like today, if you get, let's say, a millisecond to go from one application to another in your data, in your pipelines, most of that time is spent in software. The actual hardware itself could be like 1,000 times faster. Like in hardware, you can move data at a microsecond, or even lower, like a few hundred nanoseconds. But the software, there is so much history that have been accumulating that the software itself is representing most of the overhead. And so the thing we are going after is this kind of API at the bottom, where it's very simple, one or two liners in Python or Scala, where you declare the piece of data you want to act on. You don't say where it is in the cluster. And then you declare the function, the GPU function or CPU function you want to execute on. And that's it. And you let the hardware figure out which pages have to move where, the RDMA operations that has to happen underneath. But as a developer or a practitioner, you don't have to worry about it. And so if we get that into H2O and inside Caffe, it would be part of your pipeline. You would just process data munge and parse your data in H2O, and then specify an action for example, in Caffe or TensorFlow or something else, and it would just happen underneath. And if we push that abstraction all the way, then you can get entire compute graph, like something like TensorFlow, which is really an arbitrary graph. You can do any number of operations on any machine you want. But instead of being done over TCP or gRPC, it will entirely be occurring in hardware. So the performance, I can prove it right now. I cannot prove it yet, but the idea, if we go all the way, would be that you would get the maximum the hardware can provide you for any of the compute you want to do. And it goes back to a much simpler abstraction time, like the time at the beginning of Unix, where everything was a file. So it will be the same idea. You memory map a file into your GPU memory, and it will just happen in hardware. Yeah, so it's a bit of it's a lot of details that I don't know if you care about, but there's a really a long list of advantages of doing things this way if we manage to integrate it to H2O in particular. So the actual integration of Caffe into H2O would be through that type of abstraction. Would be you specify your processing in H2O, and then for each piece of data, you could express, like I did at the first example, which kind of compute you want to execute on that piece of data. And then H2O will do the distribution on the CPU, and the file system will do the transfers. And then Caffe or some other deep learning library that will be integrated will do the actual compute. Yeah, also the overall complexity of a pipeline like that, if you have to build a pipeline where you have multiple steps, and each step has their own convention, like H2O has its own type of logging, Caffe will have a different way of logging and debugging and notifying errors. So the work we are doing during the integration, thanks to that type of abstraction, is to unify all of that. So you will have a single, the file system will provide a single view of a single place you can go for logs, a single place you can go for error reporting, a single place you could go to monitor things. If you want to see in your pipeline what's the state of a variable right now, you can go on your file system and everything will be laid out. So it's much easier for developers or even practitioners to play with that with the overall app, because like people don't always see that the most of the time is spent around training. So at Flickr, for example, we spend a lot of time preparing data and querying data. The actual training time, the actual compute on the GPU was not really where people spend most of the time. Yeah, so the benefits will be on three dimensions. You should get better performance, much lower latency if you do streaming, like something like Spark streaming or streaming over H2O. You get lower performance, lower latency overall, much lower complexity on the overall pipeline of the different applications putting together. And for production systems, also better security, because the file system abstraction in terms of security, because the checks are done in the kernel, and it's because it's unified, so you have the same security model for data and compute and pipelines, instead of having like a file system abstraction for data, more like on HDFS, and then you have a different security model for accessing a service, so an IP table or something, or your Kerberos to connect to some machine or something. You could just unify all of this under a single abstraction. And so the production system could be more secure also. So right now it's at the prototype level. Also the integration of Caffe inside H2O is also at the prototype level. And because Berkeley is interested in self-driving cars, the first implementation will be on embedded systems, but the same abstraction should come out for data centers soon after. And it runs on the next generation of Ethernet and InfiniBand. So if you want to purchase a GPU cluster in practice today, you can make sure that you choose your networking infrastructure so that each devices on each machine can directly talk to each other. So there is a bunch of brands, depending on the constructors, like NVIDIA, they call it GPU Direct, and AMD, they have their own stuff. But all those capabilities are good to have in infrastructure already, so that once the software starts to come out, you will be able to leverage your hardware fully. And that's, I don't think we have time for questions today, so you can come to see me if you want more details. And we can go to the next. Thanks.